Let's talk about it. I've been wanting to talk about this for a minute. Um, I know I'm not anyone big or anything like that, but as a wrestling fan, I feel like, of course, I have my own opinions. And like I said, everything I'm about to say is strictly opinion. But let's talk about WrestleMania 41. Let's just start. We already know that one of the tag team championships is going to be a ladder match at WrestleMania as usual, which is fine. I feel like there's a lot of great tag teams, and in the ladder match, they're really show off. I just don't know which one it will be, but regardless of that fact, it will be fantastic. Now, they haven't announced it yet, but Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre have been feuding for a bit now, for a couple weeks on SmackDown, which I completely love. Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre. I feel like they would have a good match in general, just like they did at, I think, Money in the Bank. Whatever, I feel like they're going to have a great match. And at WrestleMania, I feel like it's going to be a street fight or something due to the fact of Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre fighting everywhere. So, like, anytime, anywhere, and then calling Damian Priest the Street King. So I feel like it's going to be like a street fight sort of match at WrestleMania, which will be completely awesome, in my humble opinion. And then we have Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. In my opinion, from literally day one, when I saw Tiffany Stratton, I was like, they're going to push her to the moon. She's going to be like the new Charlotte Flair, right? So, of course, being me, I wanted to see Charlotte Flair versus Tiffany Stratton. And now we're getting it. And, I mean, it's going to be a great match. I mean, it's Charlotte Flair, literally the best women's wrestler in the world, in my opinion. And then Tiffany Stratton, who has a lot of potential. I mean, it's just, I guess, a showcase of her abilities against someone who has carried the women's division over time. And, like, literally, if they needed anyone to fall back on, Charlotte Flair is the person. Love her or hate her. She's a good worker. And I feel like this will really be, like, a good showing for Tiffany Stratton. I think Tiffany Stratton is going to win. I feel like, I mean, it could be either or, because, like, I don't really think Charlotte Flair needs it, but it would be cool to see her get close to having multiple world championships, just like the men. So that would be cool. Jade and Naomi. I don't really know. I really don't know. The story is great. I love the story. It's definitely going to be an emotional one for both of them, and for any fans that appreciate the storytelling of that story. I feel like if they were to have a match at WrestleMania, though, Jade's of course gonna get the win. But match wise, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it because I know Jade Cargill does her thing, and then Naomi's in ring work has been getting a lot better. So I feel like that's going to be a good one. It could be a good one. I mean, it could be a good one. A bit iffy on it, but storytelling, A1, built in very nicely. Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, that whole thing is fantastic. I'm following it very well. Rhea Ripley, if it turned out to be a triple threat, bro, what? If it turns out to be a triple threat match, then that would be cool too. I mean, those are like the three top stars that held down the women's division in like the past recent years. Io Sky being in Damage Control and being champion at some point. And then Rhea Ripley, of course, being the champion and being into it with Liv Morgan. And then Bianca Belair, even while being in a tag team and in a whole different ordeal without being in the World Championship picture, been a massive star. And now, I feel like if we're talking about who would win, in the triple threat match, or if Io Sky were to be in the championship match picture, it would be Io Sky because I feel like she needs it. Mommy has been champion for so long at this point, has just won the championship back, but she doesn't really need it. And Bianca, I feel like, needs to focus on a rivalry that could be possibly happening in the future, which is with her and Jade, her and Naomi, of course. I mean, that would be cool to see. So she doesn't really need the championship either. But Io Sky really deserved. She's shown that she deserves it, and now is the great time now that she's already champion, which was unexpected, by the way, on a episode of Raw. So regardless of even if Io Sky doesn't win at WrestleMania or wins the next night at Raw, at least she still got to hold the championship, even though I do feel like she will be holding the championship again. But I feel like she's going to be retaining it between Raw, WrestleMania, after WrestleMania. She's going to be holding it for a good while. I do believe that. So, what's next? I'll say the big one for the last. Jane Gunter. A lot of people are iffy and not wanting too much to follow the story, but I mean, it's not about the boom, I'm gonna go attack you, blah blah blah. It's like this, right? Say you've been a tag team wrestler your whole life, and now you're getting this massive glory from the fans. Every time your music hits, the crowd goes wild. You're getting all this attention. You're expected to show up at all the shows. You're doing all these things, and then now you're winning the Royal Rumble by eliminating John Cena at the end of it. It's like his whole world is just coming at him in one wave, right? And he got to think of his past, though. He might not even know he can do it. So then he has himself in his own head thinking you can't do this, and then comes the actual world champion, who he didn't beat 3 times now, saying that he can't do it either. So he wants to try to prove something by picking him for WrestleMania, but it still doesn't work for him, that maybe he can't do it. So it's hard for him to fight back against Gunter when he literally keeps slipping up, because he's fighting himself, fighting the expectations. And it's like, I feel like the fans hating the story is a good point of that. Because, I mean, it's like, they always say that the story's not good, but they want Jey Uso to win. You have to really just regardless, it's the moment that's going to happen. When Jey Uso, and I do believe that Jey Uso will win the World Championship at WrestleMania, when he wins at WrestleMania, that whole stadium will be on their feet, yeeting in unison. Like, it will be insane. And that's why WWE did it. That moment will be crazy. It will be crazy. Now, will the match be good? Gunther alone has great matches. At WrestleMania, it will be no different. And I think Jey Uso will really, bring out something in himself for WrestleMania, especially with Jimmy being in the mix now, hyping him up too. Maybe some more family members will hype him up. I don't know. But I feel like the Jey Uso story arc, it's a good one. It's a good one. It is. If you just really sit with it and really think about it, it really is a good one. They're just trying to prove the fact that he doesn't have to be brawling with him every week. He's just trying to prove to himself that he can do this. He's trying to prove to everyone else that he can do this. And I feel like him taking his time to do that is good. Moving on from that, John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. Or Peacemaker versus Homelander. Or John Cena versus New John Cena. Doesn't matter. I feel like the John Cena heel turn, greatly done. In my opinion, The Rock will have something to do with it at WrestleMania. John Cena will be walking out with the 17th World Championship. I do feel like Cody Rhodes will be the one to take the championship back from John Cena. That's what I do think. It will be Cody Rhodes to take the championship back from John Cena. That's just my opinion. He will be taking the championship back from John Cena. But as of WrestleMania, in the match, John Cena will be taking the championship. As far as the match itself, I mean, John Cena only does a few things. So I feel like Cody Rhodes will carry the match. It will be a long match, I do know that for sure. But it will drag. Because John Cena doesn't really do much. But Cody Rhodes does a lot. So I think in the high moments, it would be Cody Rhodes doing something. And then the high moments, of course, when John Cena does his couple of moves that he does that are famous. But as far as, I mean, it will be a good match regardless. Because, I mean, it's John Cena, it's Cody Rhodes. Dream match for some. But a much needed match for WWE. Much needed change for John Cena, that's for sure. But he will be getting his 17th World Championship. That is for sure. I do believe that. And I know The Rock will be there. Of course. That is his champion. So. And I almost skipped over this, but my hometown hero, St. Louis hero, Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. Randy Orton will be winning. I only know that because they're coming to Backlash after WrestleMania, and Randy Orton's a private meeting, right? They're not going to have him lose. I mean, if he loses this match, right, Kevin Owens will viciously attack him, and I just know that because it's Kevin Owens. They're not going to have that happen. So Randy Orton's going to win. That way he can actually go to Backlash. It just makes sense, you know? I feel like they just let it be known too fast. So I think Randy Orton's going to win because of that. He's going to punt Kevin Owens. He's going to punt Kevin Owens. I don't know if they're going to, like, blur it out or something, blah, blah, blah. But at WrestleMania, he's going to finally get his hands on Kevin Owens, and he's going to be able to punt him. That's just in my opinion. I would love to see a punt from Randy Orton. It's been years. We all want to see the punt from Randy Orton. It would be cool. I think Kevin Owens would sell it very well. Plus, it's just a classic match of Stunner versus RKO, which is fantastic. So that match would be good because Kevin Owens is such an underrated talent, and he is right. Not with Randy Orton, no. He's right with everything else. And Randy Orton is, yeah he's going to kill a future legend in Kevin Owens. WrestleMania is not going to be the night of Owens. I'm sorry. And now the big match everyone's talking about for right now that will probably take the main event of Jey Uso and Gunther. Roman Reigns versus Seth freaking Rollins versus CM Punk. The favor is going to come into play. Seth Rollins does not have enough push to win the match. We're talking about the Tribal Chief and CM Punk. Seth Rollins does not have enough push to win that match. Especially if it's going to be at the main event, I do not see Seth Rollins beating Roman Reigns and CM Punk and celebrating in the main event of WrestleMania. I just don't see it. Can I see Roman Reigns doing it? Yes. But there's no reason for him to do that either. There just isn't. And it just doesn't make any sense on why he would just be winning. Hence my prediction match anyway. That was so terrible. But anyway, so I only think of CM Punk because there's so much things that they can do with CM Punk. It being in the main event of WrestleMania, his dream, the fact that he keeps saying that none of them have beaten them without the other, them being against each other might work in Punk's favor. And then, of course, the favor from Paul Heyman, which will definitely come into play at WrestleMania. I don't know where else it would come into play at, and that's just the perfect time, unless it unfolds on a regular episode of SmackDown or Raw. But, I mean, it's going to be CM Punk, the best in the world, celebrating at WrestleMania. I can just see it right now. I mean, that's just my predictions and my opinions on WrestleMania 41. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. And I have a new prediction match coming out. Megan Bayne versus Timeless Toni Storm. So tune into that. I'll see you guys later.